My name is Al Maglio. I'm a senior principal engineer in BASF's research facility in Islin, New Jersey. So our patent is for a new material that is based on bismuth, and it's for the removal of arsine and phosphine from refined petroleum streams. Some of those streams contain reactive compounds like acetylene, propadiene, methacetylene, and hydrogen. And that is an issue for traditional adsorbents that typically are copper-based that work great, but they're reactive and they pose safety as well as explosion hazards. So traditionally for, let's say, the last 40, 50 years, what's been employed is a lead-based material to remove arsine and phosphine. And the lead is a balance. It's not as good as, let's say, copper materials for arsine and phosphine, but it's pretty much non-reactive, and therefore it's much safer. The main reason you need to pull the arsine and phosphine out is to either reach purity specifications on those streams, or, even more importantly, downstream those materials, let's say those chemicals like ethylene and propylene, get converted into more useful materials, polymers, for example. And there are catalysts that are employed in those processes that get poisoned by the arsine and phosphine. So removing the arsine and phosphine is important. Can't do without it. You have to get these materials removed. And what we sought out to do was essentially get rid of the lead. Adsorbents are chemical filters, is probably the simplest way to describe them. We sit passively in a system. The feedstock will run through a vessel. So it's a solid aggregated material that leaves a bed that's porous. So the petrochemical feedstock would flow through a vessel that would have this in it, large vessels, 6, 8, 10 feet in diameter, 20 feet tall, and would then pass through this. As the petrochemical feedstock passes through this bed, these particles will actually remove the arsine and phosphine. And they do that over a long period of time. So a typical bed could be in service for 6 months, 3 years, sometimes 10 years. When it's finished, you remove it, and then it is disposed of. Initially, when we started this work, it was pretty obvious at some point standards will come out to remove lead, right? Or minimize the amount of lead. After we had our initial leads, the European community instituted a program called REACH, which is an environmental program to reduce toxicity, hazardous chemicals, and lead was named. So fortuitously, we had already developed the leads, and then the need on the industry side became clear. Of course, it was a few years out, but we were ready, and we were ready at the time when those standards came into play. It means a lot to receive this award, and obviously not just myself, but the co-inventors as well. All of the work that was done for this is done in New Jersey, which is in a laboratory, BASF's laboratory in Islin, New Jersey, which is less than a mile away from the Menlo Park labs where Edison did his work. And it means a lot, really, to have this award, to be a part of New Jersey.